Hi, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the MegaWars interface and show you how to log into a war, create an account, and some of the basic things. So, first thing you do is you put in your user ID and your password. I like to say the password so I don't keep typing it in over and over again. The drop down here has the wars that are available. Tonight, for example, there's a brand new Iron War starting, and it doesn't start until 6 o'clock. So won't be able to log into that. So I'm going to choose the classic one for right now for me. But if you log in, be sure to choose the newest war that you're going to start. And if it starts on a night, all wars start at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or Daylight Savings Time. So, all right, let's go ahead and just hit enter space. Don't enter the academy right now. Just let's go directly into space. So we'll say enter space. And it will connect to the server, and it will ask us, it'll tell us what rule set is. This is the classic rule set. Depending on the war that you choose, that rule set will tell you what the rules are. I'm going to give it a ship name. I'm going to call it Tiger Claw, and I'm going to give it a ship number. Ship number doesn't matter. Just want to make sure you don't get one that someone else has. If someone else already has the number, it'll fail for you. So I'm going to do 5272, and then I'm going to agree to the rule set and hit the sign up button. So it's going to load the star map, and it's going to bring me into the game, and it's going to place me into orbit of one of the planets. And I'm in orbit of an Imperial base. I entered the war. The interface has some basics to it, so let's take a look at them here. You have some of your basic commands across the top up here, and we'll go through those each individually in just a second. You have a radar that's on this side. This shows you how many, shows you where ships are. You can click on the ship in the radar, and it'll target that ship. And it shows you all the ships that are in range. Right now there's not any ships in range. And on this side over here is the ship log. This will tell you about all the information coming from the server. So for example, we scanned system 1. These are the planets A, B, C, D, and E. Habitability, and then metals, and who the owner is. So you'll see here we have a 22 hab planet. What that means is it'll build 22 houses per year per worker, and then we have 17, and then 100, and a 59, and a 0. Now these are usually gas giants. You'll see a little caret on this side. That means this planet has fuel. So and fuel is in this area right here. If you get low on fuel, you want to go into orbit of that planet and scoop, and we'll see how to do that here shortly. Okay, metals. This is how much metal is mined per worker over a year's time frame. And here again, the owner, you'll see here that C has an owner, and we're in orbit of the owner. And this area right here is the chat. So all chat comes in right here. Remember the ship number that we created our ship with, 5272? It communicated on channel A. There are 4 channels that you can talk to on the radio, and it says Tiger Claw enters space at this side. Here is the area in the bottom. You'll have some shortcuts here, 1C, 2C, 3C, 4C. Those are the Imperial bases. Imperial bases are your, kind of want to call them trade centers, but you really can't trade with anybody else. You can only buy from the Imperial. And when you collect taxes, you put your taxes at the Imperial base. So there's only 4 of them throughout the region. And if I come up to the top up here, you'll see this little guy. This is the galaxy map. And that'll bring up the map. And you'll see that we're right here by number 1. Number 2 is in the quadrant. So we built them in the quadrant. So 1 is in the upper right-hand quadrant. And then 2 and 4 is in the 4th quadrant. Now, as you have planets, it will show you where your planets lie on this galaxy map. So we just don't want to clutter all that up, and it only shows what you need to. Okay, so I'll close that. Okay, so back down to this area down here. So that is the Imperial bases that you want to fly to. Your fuel is on this side. The little dot says I don't have any missiles on my ship. That turns green if you have missiles. You have lasers fore and aft. We have 3 torpedoes on this side of ship. You can have up to 8 torpedoes. You have hull integrity. This is your fore and your aft, and those are both at 100 to let you know how much hull that you have available. We're orbiting 1, and we're not moving at all. Across the bottom, these are your hotkeys, so you can press Control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So number 1 is dry dock, so let's go ahead and pick dry dock. And this places us in the dry dock of the Imperial base. This may look a little intimidating. It's really not. What's most important up here is how much of your hull space is used. Hulls determine the size of your ship. Okay, and I will go through this one with hulls because you'll see that every one of these is basically the same. So, the current size, I have 3 hulls. The minimum is 3 hulls. The maximum that I can buy is 20 hulls, and I can buy them 1 unit at a time, and they cost 5,000 units of metal each. Anytime you enter a dry dock, you automatically get fueled up and fixed up to the size of a scout. So, starting at the left, going to the right, you have your warp drive size, you have your impulse size, torpedoes, all the way through your different systems, and you'll learn about this as you play the game, and that's a little bit more than what we want to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and exit the dry dock, come back into space at this point. The next one is I want to deposit my taxes. I don't have any taxes to be able to deposit, so you can just push it and it'll say depositing 0. And then you have drop fighters, lift troops, lift fighters, and then leave orbit, and then we have an establish a base, and then scan the system, and attack, and occupy. Okay, so we're in orbit of an Imperial base. If I try to occupy, it'll see it as a hostile act and shoot me with about 20,000 surface guns, so let's not do that. In this area right up here on the top, you'll see A, B, C, D, and E. These are the planets. You can just right click on the planet, and it will navigate you to that planet and put you in orbit. And then so you can just go through the planets. And on my hover, if you notice, you'll get a little bit of a it'll tell you the hab in the middle, just like we saw a second ago. So it tells you that we're in orbit. Okay, so let's go ahead and move out of orbit. I just take my mouse and I right click over here to the left. Your ship will increase up to 1,000 100 in speed, and you'll see this little guy right here just turn green. So I'm going to turn back around. I'm going to spin around here just real quick, and I'm going to double click, which stops my ship. And you'll see here we're at 5 AUs from the sun, and I'm too close to the sun. I can't go to warp. That needs to be green so that you can go to warp. So I'm going to click over here. We're going to move back out just a little bit further, and you'll see it turns green. Once it turns green, I have a button here that says enter hyperspace. These buttons change as the game plays. Just use the tool tips just to let you know what they do, and you can read the MegaWars manual. The other thing is right up here, probably the easiest way to do it is go to game information, and then we have MegaWars IV commands. These are the commands that can be typed in, and then we have some talks about planet management. So there's quite a bit of information up here for these. So explore that and get an idea how that works. So we're going to go into hyperspace. So I'm just going to go into warp. You have 2 modes in MegaWars. One is hyperspace and one is normal space. So now that we're here, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and I'm going to pick up with the next one. Thank you.